Hey everybody! Alright, so today we're going to go over day 2 of our book, Little Red Riding Hood. Alright, and what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on our vocabulary words, okay? So let's take a look at them again. And the first word is thoughtful. Thoughtful means to think of others. Alright? Then we have visit. Visit means to go and see and spend time with. We have winding. Winding means a twisty movement or path. Then we have sly, which means clever in a dishonest way. All right, and then we have crept, which means move slowly and carefully. So we're going to reread our book, and every time we land on a vocabulary word, we're going to talk about it, okay? All right, let's take a look here. A long time ago, there lived a sweet little girl who was very thoughtful and kind. Oh, thoughtful. Thoughtful means to think of others. And kind and loved to visit. Visit means to go and see and spend time with. Her grandmother. Her grandmother enjoyed these visits so much that she gave the little girl a special present. Visit means, again, to go and see and spend time with. She sewed the little girl a wool cape with a hood. It was the girl's favorite color and a wonderful cherry red. The girl liked her cape so much that she wore it everywhere. First, she wore it to the village store. Then she wore it to visit her cousins on the other side of the village. Visit again, to go see and spend time with. She even wore her cape to bed. Soon everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said, "Your grandmother isn't feeling well." "I'll go visit her," said Little Red Riding Hood, "and I'll take a picnic." "What a good idea," said Little Red Riding Hood's mother. Be sure to stay on the path through the woods." Little Red Riding Hood promised that she would, and she packed a basket with her grandmother's favorite food and set off. Little Red Riding Hood skipped down the long, winding path. Oh, winding. It means a twisty movement or path, as she always did on her visits, and she was very careful to always stay on the path. After a while, she met a wolf. "Hello," said the wolf. Or "hello," said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood knew she shouldn't talk to the wolf, but he seemed friendly. "Hello," she said. "Where are you going on this fine day, little girl?" asked the wolf. "I'm going to visit my grandmother." Oh, visit means to go and spend time with. Or to go see and spend time with. "I'm going to visit my grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood. "She isn't feeling well, so I'm bringing her this picnic with her favorite foods." "And where does your grandmother live?" asked the wolf. "At the end of the path." A sly grin came over the wolf's face. Oh, sly. Sly means clever in a dishonest way. He's thinking of something naughty. He knew that if he ran up the hill, he'd get to Grandmother's house before Little Red Riding Hood. "I'll gobble up that old lady and the little girl," he thought, smacking his lips. "And I'll gobble up that tasty picnic, too." Look at the flowers growing in the woods," said the crafty wolf. "Why don't you pick some for your grandmother? Pretty flowers would always make her feel better." "Good idea," said Little Red Riding Hood. The prettiest flowers were far from the path, but Little Red Riding Hood thought it would be right to leave the path just this once. When she turned to pick some flowers, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house. The door was unlocked, so the wolf opened it quietly and crept inside. Oh, crept. That means move slowly and carefully. He tiptoed into Grandmother's bedroom and found her asleep in bed. Suddenly, she woke up. When she saw the wolf, she screamed, "Help! Help!" cried Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother. The wolf grabbed her, pushed her into the closet, and locked the door. "Be quiet," he said, "or I'll gobble you up now instead." The wolf quickly put on the nightgown and cap, and he hopped into bed and pulled the covers over his hairy chin. At that moment, Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the front door. "Grandmother," she called. "Come in, my dear," said the wolf in a high voice. Little Red Riding Hood went into the bedroom. She stared at her grandmother lying in bed. Her grandmother looked very strange, and Little Red Riding Hood was afraid. "Grandmother, what big ears you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Grandmother, what big hands you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to hug you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big teeth you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "The better to eat you with, my dear," cried the wolf, and Little Red Riding Hood screamed. This was not her grandmother, and it was the wolf. Suddenly, the wolf sprang out of bed, and he tried to grab Little Red Riding Hood, but she leaped away, light as a leaf, in her cherry red cape. The wolf grabbed the air instead. With a yelp, the wolf tumbled out the window, rolled head over heels down the hill, and he was never seen again. Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother pounded on the closet door. Little Red Riding Hood let her out, and they hugged as tightly as they could. "Thank goodness that's over with," said Grandmother. "What happened?" "Mother said you were sick," said Little Red Riding Hood, "so I brought you a picnic lunch, but I left the path to pick flowers." "Well, I think you've learned your lesson," said her grandmother, "and I'm just glad we're both safe." Then Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother sat down and enjoyed their visit together. It was the best one they've ever had. All right, so let's go over our words one more time. All right, crept means to move slowly and carefully. Thoughtful means to think of others. Visit means to go and see and spend time with. Winding means a twisty movement or path. And then you have sly, which means clever in a dishonest way. Now what you guys are going to do is you're going to work on your vocabulary page. You're going to write the word, the definition, and then draw me a picture, and that's it. Alrighty guys, I will see you later. Bye.